Hey guys, and recently we got another Paper Mario inspired indie game called Escape from Ever After. And I would have to say, this is definitely one of the best ones we've gotten so far. Very close to the quality of Bug Fables, and definitely a great game for classic Paper Mario fans. I highly recommend this game for classic Paper Mario fans. I even recommend this game to modern Paper Mario fans too, as I feel like this game does take a few cues from the modern games in terms of its soundtrack and overworld design. But this game is just so fun. It also expands upon the 64 and Thousand Year Door style battle system in a lot of interesting and unexpected ways. And it's also very charming in general with its story and art style. I've only played up to the end of Chapter 2, as I've been streaming most of my playthrough. I'm gonna do a few more live streams pretty soon with this game, but I am really enjoying my time with it. And I'll definitely consider doing a full review of this game in the near future, but I just wanted to give some of my impressions on this game of what I've played so far. But basically, the premise of this game is pretty interesting. You play as a storybook character called Flint Buckler, who's in his storybook and discovers that the castle of his nemesis Tinder was taken over by a company called Ever After Incorporated, and you actually join them with the intent of eventually taking them down. So you have to do different tasks, such as going into like different storybooks and resolving problems within those storybooks. And those storybooks basically serve as the chapters in this game. There's a lot of pretty interesting ones so far. Like the first chapter in the game is based on the Three Little Pigs, but it's kind of an interesting spin on it, as the pigs are the bad guys and they're like overdeveloping and want to bulldoze the wolf's village. So it's pretty interesting, and there's definitely a lot of creative themes here, and a lot of interesting characters as well. I really like all the partners so far, like Tinder, who, as I mentioned before, was Flint's nemesis, but begrudgingly joined him to take down the company. But she kind of reminds me of Bowser in some of the Mario RPGs when he joins Mario, so it's kind of a similar dynamic there. Then there's Wolfgang, who joins Flint and Tinder in Chapter 1, and he has some interesting musical abilities, like he can use his music to grow plants or create a breeze. It's almost similar to the Ocarina of Time. You even put in like the little inputs, since there's different inputs for different songs. And that kind of brings me into my next thing that I like about this game, and that is the overworld design, puzzles, and partner abilities. Like, there are so many excellent puzzles in this game, utilizing both Flint's and the partner's abilities. Like, for example, there's ones where you have to light up a torch using Tinder, and then throw Flint's buckler through it, and then there's others where you have to extinguish fire using Wolfgang, or like grow a lily pad using Wolfgang to get to a torch to light it up with Tinder, or you could like use Eva's abilities to like transform an animal into like a mushroom to use as a platform, so you have to like guide a mouse through like a little maze or a puzzle. It's just really fun, and it's utilized really well. That's kind of how the game reminds me a bit of modern Paper Mario, especially like Origami King. Some of the puzzle design in this game is kind of reminiscent of Origami King, and I mean that in the best way possible, because the puzzles in this game are very clever and not confusing or convoluted like they are in Sticker Star and Color Splash. It's the perfect balance between classic Paper Mario style puzzles and Origami King. And the battle system is absolutely incredible. It takes the foundation of the 64 and Thousand Year Door battle system and expands upon it in a lot of ways. It seems like the enemies have a lot of depth and mechanical nuance to them, or designed very well overall. It seems like they can't be easily cheesed like some enemies are in the older Paper Mario games, which I definitely appreciate. Some enemies can carry shields, either wooden shields or metal shields, which makes it more difficult to hit them, and also more difficult to hit the enemies behind them. But you also have partners that can either break through shields, or automatically hit the enemies behind them, so it does seem balanced there. And then there's also other interesting formations that enemies can take on. Like, enemies can stack up on top of each other, kind of like the Tower Goombas in the Mario series. That's kind of the first thing that came to my mind. But there's a lot of different strategies you could use to deal with these towers. Either attack each member individually, find a way to break the tower apart, or smash through the entire tower using Tinder, KOing every enemy in the process, but use up a lot of mana. The bosses in this game also have some really interesting gimmicks that mix things up as well. Like in Chapter 2, there's a boss that has a heart that you have to keep attacking because it constantly heals, and if it gets to full HP, the boss insta-kills you. So it's basically like a nightmare version of Tubba Blubba. So it's just really cool that these bosses have so many interesting gimmicks and kind of mix things up, and also makes it to where they're not super easily cheesable as well. I think it's like the perfect balance between the bosses in the classic Paper Mario games and the modern Paper Mario games. And the moves that you have available to you are pretty interesting as well. Both Flint and the partners have a wide pool of moves available to them, and you can also upgrade each of these moves individually. You can also equip and unequip most of these moves like badges. And speaking of badges, this game's badge system is excellent. Each character basically has their own setup, which is honestly something I want to see in a future Paper Mario game. It just allows for so many different strategies and ways of playing this game. Like, you can make it to where one character can have the Super Appeal equivalent, or another character can have a Super Guard badge, and yes, the Super Guard equivalent in this game is basically linked to a badge, and it's also kind of similar to the Spike Helmet from Sticker Star as well. But I just love this badge system, and I think it works really well. The special moves were also handled pretty interestingly in this game. Rather than only being something that the main character can select, all of the partners can select special moves, and they each have their own special move, kind of like Bros attacks in the Mario & Luigi series, where Mario and Luigi kind of have their own individual ones. And each of the moves actually get more powerful the more partners you have on your team, which is pretty interesting. Since all the partners work together, which makes sense as they're called synergy moves, and they can do a lot of interesting things. Like, you could summon a flame tornado with Tinder, or all of them can do a restore, or you could also upgrade all of your partners using Wolfgang. It's kind of like Power Lift a little bit, so there's a lot of interesting special moves here. But overall, I just love how this battle system was handled. It's very well designed and polished. And finally, I wanted to talk about the presentation of this game. The art style looks very nice. I love how the character designs look. They may not be for everyone, but I love the wacky and unconventional style here. It's kind of similar to Thousand Year Door, but also a little different as well. It looks like they all kind of popped out of a storybook, which kind of seems to be the intention here. And the soundtrack is an absolute banger. It goes for a jazzy, big band-esque style, almost similar to Mario Kart 8, Cuphead, or even Paper Mario Sticker Star, and it's absolutely incredible. There are so many excellent songs here, and I love how they handled the battle themes. Each chapter has a different battle theme, kind of similar to Origami King in the Thousand Year Door remake, and they all sound really good from the ones I've heard so far, so definitely give that a listen as well. But anyways, Escape from Ever After is an excellent Paper Mario inspired game, and I absolutely recommend this to any Paper Mario fan, especially fans of Thousand Year Door. But anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments, and thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!